some potentially historic news for AEW fans, as it looks like AEW might be closer than ever to announcing a brand new streaming service for future events. I'm going to tell you all you need to know about this story. First, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, so according to a trademark that was filed by the U.S. Patent Office, there was a trademark filed for, quote, AEW Plus. And I know that there's been a lot of talk about potentially AEW having a streaming service. Well, in addition to that trademark being filed for AEW Plus, in addition to that, it was filed in a category to cover streaming of professional wrestling entertainment video material on the internet. So all this talk for the past number of months about AEW potentially getting a deal with Warner Brothers Discovery to go on HBO Max, all this talk about where they're going to go, like are they going to redo Honor Club, what's going on? This is the closest, like almost concrete thing that we've gotten up to this point about anything that has to do with the streaming service. And this is meanwhile we have AEW All In, which is just coming up in a matter of 4 weeks now, and we still don't have an official announcement as to where that pay-per-view, where that event is going to be available to stream. We know that it's going to be available for televised or internet users somewhere. We just do not know where. And while Andrew Zarian of the Madman Pro Wrestling Podcast has announced, or did report, I should say, that it was likely going to be on pay-per-view, I know that this likely throws a wrench into maybe the idea that that could be a reality. But the way I see it is, if they're just filing the trademark now, I doubt that it's going to be anywhere close to being finalized by the time All In comes around. Like, we're at the end of July. That event is at the end of August. I don't think that's going to be ready in time if they're just filing the trademark now. But for the future, and we know that Warner Brothers, as part of their negotiations with AEW, one of the things that they were pushing for, or have been pushing for, are more of these pay-per-view events, more of these big events, more of these, to steal a phrase from WWE, premium live events. And while AEW has done, I believe 4 to 5 now with Forbidden Door, let's just say 5, they do 5 pay-per-views regularly. A lot of fans do like that way of doing things. They like the way that AEW can kind of build up and have a lot of like stuff happen in between pay-per-views, rather than kind of being forced to book big matches every single month, even though you could argue they do that anyway on Dynamite. They do that anyway on Collision. So I don't really believe that it would be too much of a difference. I just think it would be just more awesome matches. But I do see, like maybe it getting tiresome after a while. And that's an argument to be made at another day. But as far as this news, what it means, and what it could mean for AEW, like, here's the numbers here. I think I'm aggregating this totally from comicbook.com, who ran this. So comicbook.com ran the numbers here, and it's interesting to read here. It says AEW pay-per-views costing $50 and regularly doing around 150,000 pay-per-view buys, which is basically what they do 5 times per year, equates to about $37.5 million. For an AEW streamer to match that revenue, they would need 312,000 subscribers paying $10 a month for that service. So, of course, we know that about 8 to 900,000 people watch Dynamite on a weekly basis. You're not going to have all of those people sign up for a streaming service. That's just not going to happen. And no matter how much, wrestling fans might believe, like, oh my God, 900,000 people are going to sign up for AEW. Like, the reality is, when WWE rolled out the WWE Network, they had a lot of trouble getting to that 1 million number. In fact, I don't think they got to that 1 million number until like 9 months after they launched the platform. So will AEW be able to like get 900,000 people? No, no, it's just not gonna happen. Like I think for them, 300,000 is a goal that they should set. Remember at WWE, they didn't get the 1 million. They barely got to 1 million, and that was back when their TV were doing way better numbers than they are now. So I know it's not like a 1-to-1 correlation when it comes to that, but bottom line, in unless like Warner Brothers is funding this, or if AEW wants to use this as a potential launching pad so that in a few years they can kind of negotiate the pay-per-views in a separate deal and say, okay, so we have our pay-per-view service in AEW Plus, and they may or may not be doing business with Warner when it comes to that, but here's what we can offer you. We can offer you guaranteed 200,000, 300,000, whatever the number is, viewers, people who subscribe, who are going to continue to subscribe for AEW content. For them, that makes AEW content a draw because there's always going to be a market for those people, and because wrestling is a continuous business, those people are going to be subscribing monthly. And where do you want people subscribing monthly? Your biggest streaming platform in Max. So this could be a way for AEW to kind of set themselves up and in a bit of a rehearsal for Max, similarly to what the WWE Network ended up being for WWE. But that's to be determined later. Bottom line, put a bow on all of this on a nice Friday evening. This is a big freaking deal because for a company that's only 4 years old to have like all this buzz and excitement about a potential streaming service, that's a big deal. Like you have legitimately thousands of fans talking about this trending on Twitter. Like we should be excited because one thing I know as a person who's enjoyed AEW's content, I've always wanted to go back and watch old Dynamites. I've always wanted to go back and watch, older pay-per-views. There hasn't been a way to do that. And even if this service is just that and they merge it with Honor Club, I think that's still a really good deal, especially if it stays at about that $10 mark. If you get to like $20 a month, we'll see about that. But I don't know. Interesting news, big news, a lot of news. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. If you haven't already done so, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Until next time, keep it real.